3 maps. So I think we're ready to go.
All right, and here we go, getting underway with the semifinals of the WarChiefs Classic tournament. Is that the correct title?
The WarChiefs Classic tournament, yeah.
All right, and we have Mitoe versus Kaiserklein. Mitoe is playing as the Aztecs. Ooh, we have an Aztec mirror, and Kaiserklein is also playing as the Aztecs. I will update the score here as soon as we load in, as this is game 1.
It's So I think it's pretty common at this point. I'm pretty convinced that the top players in this style of tournament will go for the Aztec mirror in game 1. I think it's just the easiest civ to, or the most popular of the native civs in real tournament games. And they're also, you see Aztec mirrors in main tournaments pretty often as well. It's a matchup that everybody's, I think, fairly familiar with, and lends itself to being played in game 1. Both players don't want to reveal their strategies with Sioux or Iroquois too much, and I think we see these Aztec mirrors as a result. So 300 would start for both players. Looks like Mitoe going for the fire pit, as well as Kaiserklein, but also Mitoe going for that early trading post. I'm not so sure that Kaiserklein's going to go for it right now, although he is getting this 95 wood treasure.
Yeah, that's a very nice pickup, 95 wood right there.
Yeah. Actually started with that trading post you saw Kaiser do, but now deleted it and is actually now going for the one a little bit closer to Mitoe's base.
Yeah, and so Mitoe is gathering some wood right now so that he can get his house up, because he did go for that trading post, so he will have to gather 100 wood, so
Yeah.
which allows him to build his house in H1.
Going, a slight advantage for him as a result, because he actually got that 95 wood treasure. Doesn't have to chop as much for the house, and he is actually going to be getting the trading post pass even so. So I think they're pretty much even in terms of the XP. Ooh, interestingly, Mitoe actually took. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I'm just saying the 140 food treasure, always very big treasure. Kaiserklein's moving close to it. I'm not sure if he scouted it yet, but
seemed like he had to, but
right.
He might not have. Oh no, he might be going for this one instead. The 70 XP. Well, Rifleman just takes that down for free, basically.
Yeah. Kaiserklein's getting some very nice treasures. Or was that Mitoe? Or no, that was Kaiserklein.
He was commenting on Mitoe taking the two sheep.
Yeah. Yeah. But Kaiserklein.
That with natives, with natives, you just kind of take it because you want the rifleman. Like the outlaw rifleman you get out of it is worth more than the two sheep.
Yeah. And there we go. Kaiser gets the 140 food, so he's getting a lot of very good treasures this game. Mitoe does just pick up 70 coin though.
Yeah, I think it is fair to say that Kaiser won in terms of the treasures so far. He actually has even a substantial amount of XP just because of taking all those treasures and also getting that 70 XP treasure. He is going to be a little bit ahead in shipments for a lot of the game.
Yeah, and we're having a little bit of H1 engagements here, some outlaws firing at each other, and it's actually interesting with Aztec Mirror, because there's no like sharpshoot ability, and so you actually can engage each other, and you have to like avoid getting snared, but you can do like these outlaws do quite a bit of damage, so, and even in the outlaw riders also.
Yeah,
so, kind of fun.
They don't. It's interesting. They don't do a lot of damage to each other, the outlaw riflemen, but they do a lot of damage to the explorers themselves. A little bit careful.
And Mitoe does pick up a converted garden right there and pick up a treasure himself. And yeah, here we go. We have a lot of H1 units here fighting. Yeah,
I think Mitoe was not careful enough with his warchief, and he's going to be going to lose that now. He did get an outlaw rifleman as compensation, which is good. And he is actually going to get this outlaw rider too. So he does have, he's going to have more of these really powerful units. But he is down that warchief, and that was 100 XP, and that actually is worth a lot.
Yeah. And we do have a forward warlord coming down for Kaiserklein. And 4 villager coming forward for Mitoe also, so they might be building their war huts very close to each other. That villager is just doing a little bit of herding right now, so it'll be interesting to see where Mitoe decides to build his military buildings.
Yeah, he looks like he is taking a bit of time with that. He actually doesn't have 100 or 250 wood yet.
Oh wow, yeah.
He made that early house, or that second house, because he actually is at 25 population. So I guess he's sending us a shipment. But yeah, I'm surprised he isn't getting the war hut up until just now.
Yeah, and Mitoe saying oops, and I think that's what he might be referring to. Might have messed up on his build a little bit, getting a pretty late war hut, but and we have a second war hut coming down for Kaiserklein right on top of his first one, so, and even a forward market there. So yeah, when you build 2, yeah, okay, and then we do have 5 coyotes right there. 5 coyote pop.
Yeah. Mitoe, meanwhile, got that 5 villagers as his first shipment. Kaiser did 700 wood, 600 wood. So a bit of a divergence here. Mitoe is definitely playing this one defensively. He's going to be making this defensive war hut, sending up those 5 villagers, trying to hope that he can maintain a long-term economic lead. Whereas Kaiser is playing a little bit more aggressively. I wouldn't be surprised with all those wood shipments to see him take a couple more trading posts down right now. He's definitely in position to take probably several of them.
Mitoe forgot about one of his villagers here. One villager was exposed, and Kaiser was able to pick that villager up for free pretty much. You always want to keep track of your villagers. It's always, you know, easier said than done, but you want to, like, always, yeah, just kind of know where your villagers are, and you know, you don't want to have villagers that are very far from your town center, especially if you're expecting any early raids. But it's very easy to, you know, forget about one villager, or like, and even sometimes you'll look over on the map and you'll miss seeing the villager or whatever. And it looks like that was the case for Mitoe here, so he did lose one villager, and that's kind of big, you know, losing just one villager early. That's especially in Mir.
Definitely, yeah. So Mitoe did a 5 villager, 4 villager build. So pretty much 3 villager cards straight up in a row.
Yeah.
Putting him in a very good economic position, only now getting a 700 wood out with this market. So the builds here are favoring Mitoe in the long term, but at the moment Kaiserklein has an advantage. And you can see he's using that advantage to actually take down this trading post. He has time to do it now because he knows that Mitoe doesn't have a military that can support that can really defend that trading post. And, looks like a little bit of counterplay here, yeah.
Yeah, and Kaiser has 2 villagers exposed himself, so if Mitoe keeps moving forward a little bit more, he's going for this 320 XP charger, which is very nice. And if he continues to move a little bit forward, he's going to see these 2 exposed villagers, which... Oh, and the villager's building a house now, so...
Yeah, he has to see it now, yeah.
Oh, dude, that was...
Okay, not going for it, but...
Oh, he's backing up!
Mitoe, no.
Oh, that was a very, good target, but there are a lot of units from Kaiserklein coming, so...
yeah,
doesn't want to
I guess it would have been safer, yeah, at this point.
It's a safer choice to kind of back up, I guess. But and it looks like Mitoe's Explorer at least is gonna get caught here. There are a lot of coyote runners for Kaiserklein right here, and oh, there we go. There's a little hill there. See that? It's like the Explorer running a bit. But yeah, he does get snared here. And, oh, there are a lot of pumas coming for Mitoe, so
yeah,
saving grace here, kind of.
Yeah, very important timing for Mitoe. He didn't want to lose that war chief again because each one of those is 100 XP, and that it's 2/3 of that treasure that Mitoe just picked up. Yeah. Mitoe actually going for a little bit of timing here. He's going to get all those maces.
Yeah, and there's 3 Jaguar Prowler Knights and and a lot of Puma Spearmen.
Yeah, it looks like both players are trying to be a little bit conservative. Mitoe didn't want to engage fully into that. I guess, yeah, he's a bit afraid of the number of coyote, the number of puma that were coming in. Kaiser as well, just a little bit afraid. I think both players are playing cautiously in game 1, trying to feel out each other's play styles a little bit more, figure out how to do this. Neither player wants to lose the game outright to just a bad engagement.
Yeah, and Mitoe has his native explorer in a very good location, stealth mode right here, and he's in between, sees Kaiserklein's entire army, so... that's always very nice to use those native explorers. And Kaiserklein's explorer war chief is dead, so yeah, this stealth native explorer is not threatened right now.
That's actually a good point. Yeah, Mitoe is able to see pretty much everything for free, and that Explorer, that Warchief is not going to be coming up for a little bit. I guess Kaiserklein can go pick it up right now, but there's a lot of units, and Mitoe is putting his units right between now Kaiserklein's army and that Warchief. As long as he maintains that, then he's going to have a lot of information on what Kaiserklein is going to be doing.
Yeah.
Both players doing like this Puma Coyote sort of composition right now. The Maces, it's very difficult to make Maces in this matchup just because players tend to make so many Coyote.
Yeah, and we did have the big button from Mitoe, the Aztec scouting party. Is that if you look at text completed? And it looks like Mitoe might be ready to engage here. He puts his war dance on the attack, and I think he wants to take this engagement right now. He is actually down in military population by a little bit, but here we go. Very big engagement, and armies clashing at each other right now. It's hard to say which way this fight's going to go.
Yeah, it looks like Mitoe still has a pretty big Puma mass, Mace mass. Kaiser as well. I think that the left side, the Kaiserklein's Coyotes are pushing through and breaking through, and now, the Jaguar Prowl Knights, Mitoe is completely surrounded, and I think that pretty much will call the game. I think a lot of Aztec mirrors kind of end this way, where both players just jam all their units into each other, and then one of them wins.
Yep, and there's the
Mitoe calls. Game 1 going to Kaiserklein. Yeah, talking about his age 1 a little bit. He had a very, very powerful age 1, and I think that gave him a pretty strong advantage early on. Mitoe, he had a lot of these villager cards. He had a pretty good economic play, but it didn't really pay off in time. At 11 minutes in, the 5 villager, 4 villager doesn't pay off, especially when you consider the number of market upgrades you can get. And on top of a 700, 600 wood start. In addition to those treasures, I think a small but important advantage throughout the game.
Yeah, and Kaiser saying himself, he got those very big treasures in age 1, so always nice when you can do that in a game. Alright, so we're going to back out of this one and get ready for game 2 here.
I'm going to go grab a coffee really quick that I was meaning to do. So I'll be back in about 1 minute.
I've seen Soldier in the chat, surprised that AZAMP won the finals, and yes he did. Some very good play from Ace. Alright, and as you see, Kaiserklein is thinking. There's a lot of thought process that has to go into choosing civs, and as Kaiserklein is forced to pick the first civ in game 2, and he decides to lock in with Sioux. Ooh, and it looks like Mito switching to
Ooh,
Japan.
that's going to be an interesting matchup. I'm really excited to see this one.
And I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. Yeah, I was really interested in the choice by the tournament admins to pick Japan as a matchup against Sioux. Not that the matchup is good or bad for either of them, but because I think at a lower level, you see Japan having a really easy time against Sioux. The reason being is because Sioux is all about raiding and playing a very map control based style, and coming in through the back door in a lot of cases. And Japan doesn't really need to worry about that because they just have cherry orchards and are basically unraidable. So that makes for an interesting dynamic where it's going to be very difficult for Kaiserklein early on to be able to actually raid Mitoe. Mitoe is going to have to make a lot of walls this game, probably. I think in my Japan versus Sioux games, you tend to just take a very long time just to be able to move out of your base because you constantly have to be protecting yourself against the Sioux who come in with their siege dance, burn all your stuff down. So GiveUAnxiety is going to be back in just a moment. I'm going to let the players know that. Mitoe is not a player who I tend to associate with Japan. I'm interested to know this matchup, how much he is ready to actually play out this not just Japan in general, but especially against Sioux.
Alright, sorry about that.
Okay, Mito commenting, yeah, I'm about to play a Civ. I've literally never played in a tournament game and I have to wait. That I wouldn't be surprised if that is actually the first time he's played Japan in a tournament.
That's funny. Alright, so we're underway in game 2 here of the bronze series of the WarChiefs Classic tournament. Kaiserklein versus Mito. Kaiserklein did win game 1. And he chose to pick the first civilization. He picked Sioux, and Mito responded by picking Japan.
Yeah, I was mentioning that Japan is an interesting civ against Sioux because they're so difficult to raid early on.
Yeah.
They gather them from right in their base, and that counters a lot of what Sioux is trying to do. I think mid game it starts to work a little bit better in Sioux's favor, as Japan has to spread out a little bit more to get mines, to get trees, and Japan starts to feel really afraid of moving out of their base at any point in time. Always just backdoor them.
And take a look at Kaiserklein, his very fast Sioux warchief, running all the way across the map, and he converted this pirate garden, and he's now about to get the Tomahawk treasure, so he's already going to have a pretty nice little army there in Age 1.
Yeah, these pirates are great for the Sioux. The reason being is that they're very hard to kill because they have so many hit points, but they're so easy to convert, which makes a lot of treasures that are out of reach for Japan or for even the European civs very easy to take for the Sioux, and for all of the native civs in general.
Mm-hmm. And we do have the 100 food treasure in the middle of the map here. Pretty good target right there. See some other big treasures, the native treasure over here, and 60 food, 120 coin. That's a pretty big one.
This map is actually a little bit difficult for Japan to play in terms of the treasures. There are just so many of these outlaw blowgunners, these pirates, actually really mostly the outlaw blowgunners, which are not easy to take down for Japan. I actually don't think that one of the Japanese monks can kill an outlaw blowgunner before the stun is elapsed. And the monks have so little hit points that it's very difficult to kill anything without the stun on.
Yeah, and Kaiserklein does scout the first shrine right away. So it's always nice to know where the shrines are in case you do want to, siege them down. He's gonna know exactly where to go to siege down that first shrine.
Yeah. Oh, that is a benefit that the Sioux are going to be able to have, is that they can actually siege down shrines pretty much the entire game without spending a lot of resources on it, just because they move so quickly. It's going to be hard for Mitoe to keep up a good shrine population. I'm surprised if he, or actually he did go for the Kami as his first card, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he just went for like 3 boats and tried to play without shrines.
Yeah, and yeah, so we did see an Age 1 market for Mitoe here. Which, what was he
Start with the market.
Oh, you started? Okay, my mistake. Yeah, you started with a market on this map. I was going to say that looked a little weird. Yeah, so Mitoe's just playing standard so far. Kaiserklein is now on his way to Age 2.
Yeah, getting up a pretty good army at this point. He's got that pirate, the Tomahawk. He converted another blowgunner. Yeah, he's going to be winning Age 1 just in terms of the treasures. Japan doesn't really have much of a response to that. And Mitoe actually putting this Toshogu shrine a little bit far away. You can see he's building it not really, kind of like right outside of his base to get that hunt, but that could create a little bit of a problem for him later on. He's just going to be having a bit of a hard time to wall off successfully and safely.
Yeah, that wonder is a bit exposed. Kaiserklein is now about to scout it. And Kaiserklein making building a trade post himself, one right by his town center. So it'll be interesting to see if Kaiserklein goes for a fast H3 and goes for that strong H3 military, or if yeah.
I think that would be a very, very real possibility and a very smart decision. You can see he's actually moving a bunch of villagers onto gold now. Against Japan, there's really not really a threat of dying early Age 2 unless they're going really aggressive, and it's evident already that Mitoe is not going to be doing that. So he's pretty safe to do kind of whatever he wants for the first 7-8 minutes of the game, and that can include going to Age 3. That's a great thing for the Sioux to do, really, because they get access to the rifle riders, because they get access to the Wakina. It really rounds out the Sioux, which in Age 2 doesn't really have a great infantry unit, and also on EP the bow riders, they're just not quite there anymore. I don't see a lot of players making them anymore, so I wouldn't be surprised to see Kaiser going for these rifle riders, which do very well against Ashikaru.
Yeah, and Mitoe moving his sheep to the Wonder, and I was just thinking the WarChief Explorer for Sioux was coming nearby, and a threat to steal those sheep. But Mitoe was smart, kind of moving them away. It would have been really funny to see Kaiserklein, steal the sheep and then just delete them all instantly.
Yeah.
But Mitoe's not going to let that happen. And here we go, that Age 1 army, or early Age 2 army, he's starting to attack some villagers already. Forcing villager to go on TC. And
yeah, mostly just an annoyance at this point. Doesn't really do too, because only the Tomahawk is the one that doesn't have the penalty. The others do, but even so, it's not feeling great to be Mitoe right now.
And we do have a barracks going down for Mitoe. Taking a look at Kaiserklein's base, he has a lot of TPs built. He has 6 TPs right here. So that's going to boost his economy. Very nice.
Yeah, I guess he hasn't made a military building yet, and I don't think he plans to for a little bit. I think he's just going to be continuing. Yeah, he made 5 villagers as his first card in H2. And I think he's going to be pretty content to just boom up for a little bit before he has to worry about Japan coming in.
Yep.
Also sent 4 villagers first.
And Mitoe did use his consulate to ship the 3 fishing boats, so he's got a little eco boost right there. Those guys fishing away.
I suppose in this case, it's Mitoe's response to what Kaiserklein is doing. Kaiser says, well, Japan can't really hurt me in Age 2 early on, so I'm just going to boom a lot. And Mitoe says, well, if he's going to boom a lot, then I should cut some corners too. I should boom a lot myself, so I'm going to do 4 villagers twice, 3 fishing boats, and skip 600 wood because I don't need to send them now.
Yeah, and Mitoe's already at 170 shrine population, so he's getting his shrine booming going really well. Placing down 2 more, so.
Yeah, the one disadvantage the one thing that he sacrifices by not going aggressive early H2 is that he doesn't really get to punish Mitoe's shrine boom until much later on. So Kaiser is actually aging up now. I think he's going to be putting down either the corral or the war hut pretty much momentarily at this point.
Yeah.
And then we're going to start to see him do something about these shrines.
Yeah, so we're gonna see Kaiserklein hitting age 3, and Mitoe, he's 200 shrine population, but he is, nowhere near age 2, and he's basically gonna be forced to stay, or he's nowhere near age 3, so he's gonna be forced to stay in age 2. So you're gonna be seeing, it looks like for at least for a while, you're gonna be seeing age 2 Japan army versus age 3 Sioux, and the Sioux may have a timing window here to do some damage. It'll be interesting. Kaiserklein could go and target down the shrines, or he could maybe ignore the shrines and kind of just go for the main base.
Yeah, H3 Japan versus H2 Japan. H3 doesn't get you that much more in terms of the units that you unlock. The only unit I think you get is the Yabusami, which is of course a unit you almost never make. But it's really where Japan hits their timing in terms of the number of upgrades they get. That's where H2 Japan, their Ashi are not a great unit. You have to upgrade them a little bit, but there aren't that many available. But H3 Japan is when they really start to take off, and you get like 3 or 4 upgrades that all stack off of each other. And then you get these unkillable Japanese balls.
All right. And we do have 9 Wakini rifles shipped for Kaiserklein. 300 export was shipped for Mitoe. And we're seeing a forward war hut for Kaiserklein being placed in the middle of the map here.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to feel a little bit concerned for Mitoe. There's a lot of Wakina out now. The rifle riders, of course, do very well. The rifle riders can actually beat both Naginata and Ashigaru, and I think Mitoe isn't planning on making anything else right now. In a bit of trouble right now with these timings.
Yeah, Mitoe, he does ship or bank wagon. Oh, okay, he's putting it in pretty he cancels it, I was about to say. Alright,
yeah.
That spot didn't look very good at first. He does lose 1 villager, and the second villager is going
2.
down.
Yeah. That's got to be at least 3 now. Or quite.
And here we go, we have a big engagement. The Axe Riders are coming, so Mitoe a little bit out of place. He sent his 3 Nagi Riders out. And now Mitoe's looking to push.
I think Kaiser wanted to commit too much, and I think actually Mitoe overcommitted a little bit. He sent out the sentries, he sent out those irregulars after he already actually killed or pushed Kaiser back. Kaiser at this point, he's not quite ready to make a full push. He actually is behind Mitoe by about 30 villagers. So he's going to be sieging down a few of these shrines instead, I think. I think that's a good decision because you can see Mitoe actually has this massive economy right now. He sent 4 villagers twice, sent 3 boats, sent the spank wagon, made a full shrine boom. And if Kaiser doesn't do something about that, there's a real chance that Mitoe just makes too many units for Kaiser to handle.
Yeah, Kaiser did let Mitoe sit on 200 shrine population for quite a bit of time. 200 shrine population is a lot, and even for just like a little bit, it really kicks in your economy, and it's just a huge boost.
Definitely, yeah. You can see Mitoe. Maybe 2 minutes ago he had virtually no units, but now he's got this massive ball of units now. Got like 10 Nagi, another 20 Ashi, and he can lose these villagers. He can afford to do that because he's got so many of them now. He still is almost double Kaiser's economic unit population.
And here we go, very big engagement here. Mitoe just thrown his army in, and it's hard to say which way this one's going. More cavalry coming from Mitoe, and his daimyo is now getting in the fight, so boosting all the Japanese unit stats here. Ooh,
yeah,
daimyo
pretty important daimyo timing, and I think he's going to lose it, yeah.
He did go down pretty quickly there, though.
Yeah. For a moment, it looked like the daimyo was actually doing pretty good as bait. Kaiser was, you could see, test all of his units onto the daimyo, and if Mitoe had actually kept the daimyo alive for a little bit longer, that might have gone really well for him, but as is, the daimyo kind of just showed up and then died, and it's not going to be easy for Mitoe to get that back.
Yeah. And military population, they're pretty even at this point. Well, Kaiser's ahead a little bit. Oh, wow, did you just see that pop? If you were paying attention to that, there was just like 10 Nagi Riders just made, so that changed it up quite a bit. Or not, how many were made? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he did research the Bushido at this point. Unfortunately for Mitoe, he doesn't have the H3 daimyo in his deck. And it's pretty common to see players not take the H3 daimyo because it doesn't stack with the H2 daimyo. Lose that H2 daimyo, you're not getting your daimyo back until H4 unless you age up with the daimyo, which is, you don't like to do that because losing the Golden Pavilion is worse. You know,
Yep.
the Golden Pavilion's worth more, so he's kind of going to be sitting behind for a little bit now, unless he goes right up to 4.
Ooh, wow, Mitoe's army is looking pretty scary at this point, though. He has he's got some clubmen, you know, from the consulate, and he has a lot of Nagy riders on the field. And there's not a whole lot of rifle riders for Kaiser. So I think Mitoe's gearing up to push in pretty soon here.
Yeah, I think Kaiser might have lost his timing window a little bit. He boomed up really early on. He got a good setup, but then he allowed Mitoe to boom himself. And Mitoe is now sort of stabilized. There's not really a timing window for Kaiser. And so now there's just these massive Japanese armies that are coming in.
And take a look at this, Kaiserklein. A lot of villagers exposed in this gold mine, and they are all going to drop. And that's a huge raid right there. And here we go, big engagement.
That's the only classic fake. I think, yeah, even if Kaiser wins this fight, which I'm not sure he's going to do, Mitoe can just make the army again.
Alright.
These units are much more expensive for Kaiser at this point than for Mitoe.
Ooh, Nagy Rider's kind of stuck there.
Yeah, but another 9 coming in from the north.
Oh, jeez.
I think Mitoe is just going to be able to roll over this with an attack move.
Yeah, and as you see, military unit population, Mitoe's population is staying up quite a bit ahead, about double population here at this point. There are still these rifle riders on the field. Ooh, 3 dog soldiers.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that's going to be enough here.
Yeah.
I think no amount of hit and running from these rifle riders is gonna really cut it with the number of units making.
Yeah, now more musketeers are coming on to the field. Yeah, musketeers, you know. Oh, okay, so Kaiserklein is moving in here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Taking this engagement. But yeah, just more muskets arriving now, so.
Yeah. He does get a little bit of a respite here because Mitoe has to ship those 2 cherry orchards. So that's going to slow Mitoe down a little bit. It's like the Japanese shipment tax that they have to pay around 14 minutes, 13 minutes. But even so, I think Mitoe still has double the economic unit population of Kaiser. He has double the military unit population of Kaiser. And I think he can go to H3 pretty safely when he wants to. He's shipped 600 wood right now to mix in a few more Yumi into his army. I think actually the Yumi switch might be enough because Kaiser's probably at this point in full-on rifle rider mode.
Yep, Kaiser's playing from behind here, and yeah, Mitoe just seems to be making a big unit batch after big unit batch, just endless supply of army. And when you're at 200 shrine population, you can do that as Japs, and with a bank even and fishing boats. So yeah, Mitoe had a very good boom this game, and Kaiser kind of failed to punish it early, and his H3 timing push didn't work out quite as well as he might have anticipated.
Yeah, it seems like that's pretty much the story of this game. Kaiser boomed up early on. He had a fast H3, but didn't really take the timing window when he had it. And now Mitoe has just such a much stronger economic population that he can kind of do whatever he wants and be safe. Even if he takes a bad engagement, he can remake the army for free. Or not for free, but for very, very little compared to what Kaiser has to do if he loses his entire army. He can go to H3 pretty safely if he needs to because he has an economic unit population and a military one. But he probably doesn't even need to because he has so many more units right now.
Yeah.
I'm actually a little bit surprised that Mitoe's just not going in right now and ending it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he has a very large army, but he may also be thinking that, hey, I have 200 shrine population. Japan, you just sit back and play defensive as Japan, and the longer the game goes, the better for Japan. So that, right, that probably is his thought process. Yeah, as he's still saying.
I guess we just saw the Yumi attack card come out, and another batch of Yumis come out, and now that puts a Mitoe at 80, military popped Kaiser's 36. Getting another few villagers here too, so I think that, yeah, this is now go time for Mitoe. And yeah, these Yumi are going to just crush all of these rifle riders. Kaiserklein did not make any cavalry. I don't think he thought there was a reason to, seeing as Mitoe was making full Ashi and Agi for a while. The tech switch coming out from Mitoe now, I think, will be sufficient to just win this game.
Yep, military unit population, very large gap here between the two, 80 to 30. And Mitoe looking like he's overpowering at this point.
Thousand food. I actually didn't even know that Sioux had that card. I don't think it's going to be enough in this case. You can see Kaiser actually already has 750 food stacked up. I think this is just him shipping whatever you could find that was still left in this deck. I think he's starting to hurt for mines a little bit because there's been a lot of mines on this side of the map, but Mitoe has been here for so long that it's so difficult for him to actually take control over those. So he's been pretty much confined to this mine down in the south that's almost out. In addition, he just doesn't have that many villagers, so he's not going to have many resources regardless.
Ooh, Dog Soldier pop, and this is Kaiserklein's last hope.
Yeah, he kind of has a pretty good army here. I guess the Dog Soldiers not the Yumi the way they want to be, but you know, he has the composition he'd need here. There aren't that many Ashi out, there aren't that many Clubmen, but there's just not enough of any of it.
Yep. And Kaiserklein calls the GG. And there we go. Mitoe takes game 2, so that puts the series 1-1.
You guys are remarking that he's not sure how to win this matchup, and yeah, it is an interesting matchup. It's not too clear what Sioux should do to respond. It seems like difficult to raid early on, and so you kind of want to boom, but of course you can't outboom the Japanese player ever, pretty much. You have to get a really good timing window there, or you have to be very aggressive in H2.
Alright, they're getting ready for game 3, deciding on what civ to pick. And while they decide that, I will be back in just another minute or two here.
Alright. Now going to Mitoe to pick. He still has all 3 native civs open for him left. I expect him to go for... I know he's been practicing with Iroquois a lot. The only top players who actually plays with Iroquois fairly regularly. And so I think that his Iroquois will be able to pull a win off for him. We've seen, I think we saw in Diaruga versus A's, both times the Iroquois were played, they didn't really accomplish anything. I think Mitoe might be the exception in that case, where he's actually able to do fairly well with Iro. Mitoe is now trying to figure out what civ to play. While this goes on, I'm trying to figure out what map they're playing on. Yeah, sorry, I think it looks like we're playing on Bonnie Springs next. Yeah, Bonnie Springs. Bonnie Springs is a very, very small map. Wouldn't be surprised if Mitoe went for, if you went with Euro, to go for an aggressive style with Euro, but that doesn't really work so well on the RE patch, so I wouldn't be surprised if Mitoe just went for Aztecs on this build, or on this map. Yeah, Mitoe remarking on his build where he did 4 villagers, then 300 export to get the bank wagon, which was pretty much, you know, the hardest possible boom you can do with Japan. This was, of course, after a 200 or 200 pop shrine boom, and that meant that Kaiser's boom, which was similar, where he sent 5 villagers and then made a bunch of TPs, wasn't really going to work because Japan, of course, is going to be out booming Sioux 10 out of 10 times, which meant that after Kaiser booms up a little bit, he has to punish Mitoe for overbooming. And I think that that's very difficult to do. Mitoe was saying, yeah, you should send the 7 war clubs to street siege shrines, but yeah, I'm not so sure it would have worked. I think it's a tough matchup. Going with the Aztecs makes sense. It's a very small map. It's a very aggressive, favors very aggressive play. It's very possible that we see a very short game here, like maybe an 8-minute game where one player just kind of kills the other after they hold up for a little bit. Response, Kaiser has, I think, Indians, and Indian seems like the most likely one. If not Indians, then
all right, Portuguese.
Portuguese. Interesting.
All right, we're about to get underway in game 3 here. Mitoe had to pick civilization first this game, so he locks in as Aztecs, and it looks like Kaiserklein is responding by picking Portuguese.
So I don't know how this matchup is going to play out too much. Portuguese, they used to be very strong on the previous EP. Current EP, they didn't get played too much in the spring tournament, so I think their quality is a little bit unmeasured. But I think they've generally been slowed down from EP2, and Aztec are very, very fast saves, so I think it could be a bit tricky. But then again, Aztec, a lot of their units die in one shot when you have the town center colonial militia card up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so if you have 2 of those town centers, it means that if you ship that card, then Aztec can basically do nothing for a while.
Yeah, so this will be an interesting one, playing on Bonnie Springs. Ooh, and I think we just got a donation. I believe I heard something there. Was that a donation?
THX for good games, and good casters too.
All right, Twitch chat. If somebody donated, tell us.
Hopefully that pops up on the stream. I think I had to move all my OBS settings around. But I'll see that in 120 seconds on the stream, I believe. Alright, Mitoe thinking, how's he going to respond to Portuguese? He's confused. He wasn't expecting ports. What is he gonna
I
do?
wasn't expecting ports. Yeah.
It's taking his time, and there we go. Marl Green's up. So we're about to be underway. Game 3 of the bronze. Alright, never mind. Failed to load. Did that happen to you?
That's new.
Yeah. I don't think the donation alert popped up.
Okay. Yeah, they're asking if we have UA 2.2a. I'm actually not sure. Wait, yeah, I do have the UI 2.2a map. I'll give that to Mitoe. I should have it. Yep. Here we go. No, I'm actually missing that map. I have all the 2.2a maps except for Bonnie Springs.
Yep, sorry about that, guys. I didn't have the donation alert set up, I guess, on this scene. They just asked me to cast like less than 24 hours before this, so and it'd been a while since I streamed any AoE3 games. But yep, sorry about that, guys. Didn't have everything set up 100%. But either way, I think for the donation. Alright, let's see if this works. Alright, I was streaming this scene earlier, and for some reason I had an issue when I first started my stream.
So I'm re-downloading the 2.2 maps to see if we can get the 2.2 the Bonnie Springs.
Alright.
Might have been corrupted. Yeah, I think everybody just vetoes Bonnie Springs, and so it never gets played in a tournament.
Huh.
So this is the first time we've actually needed to have it. So I'll try to see if this one can work with Mitoe.
Alright. Alright, so tight everybody, we'll be getting underway with game 3 here pretty shortly.
Yeah, so Mitoe and I are loading into this game to see if it works. Nope. Okay. Maybe we should just go with Bonnie's. Wait, so there's I think a UI 2.2 Bonnie Springs. So we can use UI 2.2 Bonnie Springs, and maybe it won't work with the UI.
Okay.
Not great anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Mitoe's saying.
Alright, and I think I fixed the donation alert. Yeah, it should be working now. If anybody does donate, pop-up will appear. No more invisible donation. No, we didn't get underway with game 3 yet. There's an issue with the map loading. So, we're getting the issue sorted out, and we'll get underway with game 3 pretty shortly here. Oh, looks like they're doing another test.
Yeah, I'm giving Mitoe UI 2.2.
Alright. Ooh.
Okay, so that went even worse, I think. This time Age of Empires 3 just crashed when I tried to load Bonnie Springs. We might have to pick a different map. We might have to make that tournament admin decision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think players are getting a little impatient themselves. Yeah, it probably is the best choice if these maps just can't load, then
Whoops, I'm on the wrong version.
I'll leave it up to the tournament admins. They'll probably be whispering you if they're watching, I'm sure.
Okay, wait. We might be able to. I forgot to relog, so I think we might actually be able to get 2.2 to work.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna host on 2.2, and I think that'll work.
All right. Alright, and we are about to be underway with game 3 here in this bronze match. Alright, and looks like we are loading properly.
Nice.
Alright, so we have Mitoe playing as the Aztecs and Kaiserklein is playing as the Portuguese. We're playing on map Bonnie Springs. This is game 3. The series is currently tied 1-1. And this is the bronze match of the WarChiefs Classic tournament. And here we go.
So once again, yeah, I don't know what Kaiser is planning with the Portuguese pick. It was not the pick I was expecting them to be making. I really was expecting Indians. And it seems like Portuguese on this map, it's a very short map. That is to say the rush distance is very short. Portuguese are naturally very slow civ. He might have something in mind against this, but definitely not the pick I was expecting.
And okay, Kaiserklein. Well, actually, I'm not sure what he's doing with his explorer. Okay, so he did place the trade post down, but he is now going for this treasure. I'm not
interesting decision.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's gonna make him miss a TP pass or if he like knows the timing of the TPs. And probably not. Like that might have.
Feels like it has to, right?
Right. Like, that took him quite a long time to pick up that treasure. But he is now working on that trading post. Meanwhile, Mitoe already has his trading post built, and he's working on a treasure himself. He converted the outlaw rifleman, and he is going to be picking up a Cherokee rifleman.
Yeah, actually very good for him. That Cherokee rifleman can do a lot of damage to villagers early on. It's going to make it very difficult for Kaiser to start hurting, I think. Yeah, they're fine. Not a very high hunt map either.
Yeah, and yeah, you have to herd your hunts on this map. They can be a little bit far from your starting TC. I mean, there are some pretty large bison batches here. And yeah, actually, if you look at Mitoe's base, he has a lot of hunt right on top of his TC. And Kaiserklein will have the opportunity to start herding these a little bit later, so. And it looks like Kaiserklein coming in, and oh no, this is his home base. He's picking up only 10 coin treasure, and then a 30 coin. And Mitoe's working on this 30 food treasure.
Yeah, it looks like at this point most of the good treasures on the map have been exhausted.
Yep.
The rest of the treasures are basically just these like coyotes or cougars that you can tame. There's only a 60 food treasure left that is like probably the best treasure left on the map, and even that one is. Additionally, not that much for Mitoe to actually convert. I think all the good conversion targets are exhausted. It's a bunch of coyotes now. But he did get one rifleman, so he's in pretty good state. And actually dodged a crack shot. Not gonna work a second time though.
Didn't want to see his rifleman get crack shot there. Sad about it. But looks like Mitoe is gonna pick up this explorer, I believe. Yep.
Able to. So that's good for him. He gets a little bit of compensation. Actually 90 XP that time. Oh, because of the.
Yeah,
because of the WarChief.
Yeah, I was about to say very good play by Mitoe. He pulled his WarChief away, so he didn't finish the explorer off with WarChief. He finished the explorer off with the rifleman, and gave him more XP.
Yeah.
All right.
You can see that's going to pay off for him pretty well because he actually has 2 shipments going into Age 2. Kaiserklein as well, but I think Mitoe's feeling pretty happy about one now, even though he did lose that rifleman. But I think it was pretty much inevitable. It's hard to keep this alive against explorers.
And we have 2 forward villagers moving up for Mitoe. Looking like he's going to place that forward war hut down and try to claim some map control. And they're moving very far forward. Not
actually,
sure.
Yeah, I'm expecting him to just go like all in with it. And as far as he can forward, He has 2 shipments in H2, so he's going to just ship 2 military shipments and then go. So he actually doesn't have enough wood again to make a war hut.
Yeah, he's very far off actually.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that was a planned decision by him or if he just forgot. I guess he made this other trading post, but...
Oh, yeah. And we do have the second town center going down for Kaiserklein. His town center wagon is building that TC over here. A little bit forward. I think it's kind of out of TC range of his first town center, so it is a bit exposed, but it's, claiming some more map control. And he is building a stable in the back of his base now.
I think this town center placement is important. The reason is because he's going to be out of funds after those 2 in base are exhausted, and they're going to be exhausted pretty quickly. So afterwards, he basically has to hold on to this deer and this bison over here. And after that, he doesn't really have much of anything. It's not a very high hunt map, and Portuguese is a very high food civ. I think every bit of food he can is going to be important.
Yep, very true. Oh, take a look at shipments. And we do have the 700 wood coming in from Mitoe. Wait. Why is the UI messed up?
Probably a little bit.
Yeah, it is. Because do you see Kaiserklein's first shipment?
700 gold?
Yeah.
Oh, no, before that? Oh, yeah.
But that's incorrect, right? Because
I think he might have shipped nothing age 1. I could see that being the case. I think he's actually not a fan of shipping economic theory first. See him doing 700 gold, 700 wood.
Okay. I'm a little confused. Okay.
Yeah. I think this is planned. He is getting 5 hussars out on this first batch. It can actually be a little bit tricky to do, especially on the EP3, to get all 5 hussars out on the first batch. Shows pretty good macro from him, and he actually does have this military lead now.
Yeah, and Kaiser moving in with his hussars, no fear, and looks like he's gonna want to take this engagement. And there are
the Jaguar Prowl Knights.
Yeah.
Be a little bit careful now. I think he's gonna save all but 1 hussar, which is good. I think he had to have known, right? If Mitoe's taking an engagement with 3 coyotes, then something's coming out.
Right.
Able to react in time.
And we do have a second war hut going down right next to his first war hut, so just making this location even stronger and harder to push on. The hussars are now sieging it down, but I don't think they're not going to get there.
It was close actually.
Yeah, it was a little bit close. The hussars are now moving out. Gonna go ahead and pick up his explorer, and also maybe see if there's some villagers right here.
There are not at the moment. I guess that hunt is not going to be safe for Mitoe to take for a while. Mitoe's been hunting mostly in his base, and pretty soon he's going to actually have to expand over onto the left side of the map. He is pretty good for Mitoe because he has this trading post in place. At the top, he's going to have line of sight to be able to protect his villagers. Kaiser, because he hasn't taken that second trading post, there's going to be opportunities for Mitoe to come raid on this right side of the map where Kaiser's hunts are. Pushing it a little bit for Mitoe. I don't think he's getting much damage done. Probably not going to get any villagers out of this. Maybe right here. No, doesn't even look like it. He does have a pretty substantial army. I think he's going to be able to take down a house, but
yeah, these houses might actually not have been built in the best location. They would have been better if they were behind his starting TC. Yeah, it's a little bit more exposed here.
Yeah, you can see with all these new coyotes coming in, these houses are going to go down, and that's not great for Kaiserklein because that's about 300 wood that he's spent on that. And he probably will be housed.
Look at Kaiser being very aggressive with his town center. Yeah, putting it way out there.
I would say that he has to be though. He's starting to think already, like, okay, where I'm about to run out of the Hudson base, or going to do that in a couple of minutes. Where's my next food? I've got all these deer.
Did he not scout the one bison? Wasn't it still in that corner by his trading post? Is it hiding in that?
I think he scouted it.
Oh wait, let me. Oh yeah. Okay, now it's in line of sight a little bit.
Yeah, Mitoe actually going for this town center a little bit. He was sieging it for a time, but now that the dragoons are out, I don't think he's going to stick around. He doesn't actually have enough Macehualtin right now to be able to deal with any number of Dragoons.
Yeah, and yep, of course, as you see, the military population is a pretty large gap here, as Kaiser is, you know, in H3 now trying to get up his mass. He does have, he is starting to grow that Dragoon mass. You see, working with 8 Dragoons right there.
Yeah, Dragoons are probably going to be pretty critical for him throughout the game. They're going to be keeping him alive against the number of units that Mitoe has. He needs to constantly hit and run. And I don't think he can afford making.
I like this.
Yeah, making these walls.
Walling. Oh, what is he? Organ guns. He's boxing an organ gun shipment.
That'll be smart.
Oh, there might not get up though.
He needs to get that wall up.
Oh, it's gonna go down. He needs to rebuild a wall.
Oh no.
I think you're right. That would be a perfect spot for organ guns, right?
It would have been.
Or just his skirms. He just shipped 8 kiss. Yeah, he shipped the 8 skirms.
It would have been a really good placement there.
Yeah.
You can see he's trying to do it in his back TC now.
Mm-hmm.
He's accepted that this TC is not going to be staying up. There's just too many units out, and a lot of mace. And yeah, okay, he's shipped 8 Castadors. Yeah, Mitoe actually a little bit out of position with all of his different units. His coyotes were not were on the Dragoons. His mace were on the able to take down the Terran Center, so I think he's feeling pretty okay with that.
Ooh, go on the wall, go on the wall. Make a gate. Okay, I thought Mitoe was about to push in with but actually no, he doesn't really have that many coyote runners left.
Yeah, he lost most of those against the Dragoons. So now there's enough Castador out to be able to hold off Mitoe for a while.
Yeah, they're the 2 organ guns. Oh man, if you would have had them pop, you know, when that TC was still standing and put them in that little wall segment, that would have been really fun to see.
Definitely, yeah. What I'm wondering now is what is Mitoe going to do next, right? He took down the town center, which was good, but he still, right, he doesn't have a way to push into this space now because of these 2 organs. He maybe is thinking, okay, where's that 3rd town center gone?
Yeah, he hasn't really scouted that at all or attempted to. Now he's kind of sitting with his army in the middle of the map, so he might now start doing a little bit of scouting. He's moving around.
To go to H3, but yeah, I think he's starting to feel a little bit of uncertainty. He's trying to figure out what to do with his army now. He has a very big army, but it's not going to be enough to push into those 2 organs behind the wall. He's going to go maybe take down that trading post. Probably looking around for that 3rd town center as well.
Nice, Dragoon's picking up a free kill there. Oh, another one, nice. Yeah. And they're backing away before the mace get in range, so very nice to pick up. Ooh, the gold mine is finished. Oh, that's happened to me before, where I would wall, and you know you'd use the gold mine as like a natural wall, and then I've had before where the gold mine ran out like right when they were pushing, and it just made a huge gap in the wall. Yeah. That would have been unfortunate. But he does fix that and puts up the wall. And he does ship 5 mams. Yep.
So this might be actually an opportunity for Kaiser to push in. I think he is feeling a little bit concerned, right? Because he doesn't have any safe hunts now. That far right hunt is not really available as long as Mitoe has his military advantage. Now Mitoe just found that town center, so now Kaiser sort of has to make something happen with these bombs. Yeah,
and looks like we may be seeing a very big engagement here. There are a lot of trees, so that's good for the organ guns if they would be, you know, around all these trees, kind of making that natural choke point barrier.
Yeah, Mitoe smartly pulling back. He knows that he saw the moms, he saw the organ guns. He knows that it's not going to be able to take down that town center.
And more walls coming up.
Yeah, this is pretty much able to hold on to this town center for now. As long as he keeps these organs behind a wall, he can hold off pretty much whatever.
Ooh, these villagers are getting caught. I'm not sure how Kaiser saw that, but he is not running with his villagers. Ooh, but they are very exposed, and I think these coyotes. Oh, coyotes just turned around. Very nice save by Kaiser. And now moving his own dragoons there.
Another really close call. I think Mitoe already did that a couple times this game. just barely missing important pieces of information.
Oh, and look at this, Kaiser trying to put up a square box for the organ guns right in front of the war hut.
It's
only one villager
effective.
though. You're gonna have to. That's gonna be tough to.
Yeah. He's hoping that Mitoe's out of position, but he's not. Oh yeah, it's not gonna work.
You should. Okay, he's getting that initial wall, which it's a one side barrier, which is nice. Here we go, very big engagement. And ooh, look at that! Organ gun's got some very good shots off there. And yeah, even just that one. Even just that one layer of wall, is nice for the organ guns. It does, help protect them quite a bit. Even though they're not close in.
Mitoe pulling around the long way, but even then, he doesn't have a really good attack angle now.
Yeah.
Oh, 10 coyote pop.
Oh, now he's moving in with that pop. Oh. If the wall would have finished, it would have been a bit better, but
I think he's gonna get that second organ too.
Yep.
It looked like he was just a little bit mistimed there, but now smashing the entire army in, and I think he actually might have enough to do this. Oh, another 10 coyotes pop.
Yeah, and there are still some Mamluks on the field, but it looks like only 2 more left, and it's hard to say here. Kaiserklein's trying to just hit and run as much as he can.
The Dragoons definitely are getting hit and run done, but I think the Mamelukes are going to be taken down, and there's not much space actually left to run to. You can see Kaiser's actually against the cliff here.
Yeah. But this is kind of forcing Mitoe to fall back a little bit. There are some gates and walls here.
Yeah. Okay, another 5 Dragoons means that Mitoe or Kaiserklein might be able to hold here. He has done a pretty good job of taking down a lot of these coyotes. A lot of units going down for Mitoe.
Ooh.
Yeah, wanted to pull back a little bit earlier than he did. He overextended a little bit when he probably could have taken down that Town Tensor if he were willing to.
And while all this is going on, Kaiserklein is sneaking with his villagers and gathering from this bison herd. Did he? Okay, that's that one that was in the corner.
A few coyotes did show up.
Yeah, the coyotes did just show up just now after this battle is over.
Yeah. But actually, Mitoe or Kaiser, if he wanted to, could probably just whack those. Yeah, he's just gonna go for punching it.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in the center of the map, Kaiser made a few hussar, but not quite enough, I don't think. And so the mace mass is enough to deal with it. In the back foot a little bit, he doesn't have enough units to deal with the number of mace that are out. And Mitoe might be able to clear out this army just with his mace alone. Those coyotes that were doing the raid. But he has to be careful because now that Mitoe knows that they're there, he can just send another, come back with 10 coyotes later on.
Yeah, and
I think Mitoe knows about that gold mine too on the left.
Ooh, yeah. And 1,000 coin is shipped for Kaiserklein. And yeah, these coyotes are gonna find Kaiserklein's gold villagers right here.
Yeah, pretty good for him. I think 5 coyotes is still within punching range. Maybe like 6 or 7 coyotes is where you have to start running away. And I think Kaiser says like he's not going to risk it. His town center's close enough that you can just run away from it.
Yeah, there are some more coyotes.
But still, that's pretty good for Mitoe.
Ooh, Kaiserklein. Okay, now he's responding. He has his dragoons here, so he's gonna actually be able to pick up all these coyotes pretty easily. He did lose 1 villager, I believe. But this is actually probably a good pickup for Kaiserklein.
Probably gonna lose the second too.
Yeah, maybe lost the 2nd villager. Maybe a 3rd. It's close. Ooh, 1 more hit.
Mitoe.
He does. Yeah, he does lose a 3rd villager there.
Nice.
But he did lose about 6 coyotes for 3 villagers there.
I think just a little bit off on the timing there. You can see Kaiser was bringing his dragoons back to deal with the raid on the left side, and then Mitoe pushed in onto the right. But Kaiser saw that raid on the right side and moved his dragoons back into position. If Mitoe had hit a little bit later with that 2nd raid, then the dragoons would have been way out.
Yeah, and right now they're dead even in military population. Both have 50 military population, and economically they're very even also. And here we go. Looks like we're going to have a very big engagement. We do have veteran hussars now researched for Kaiserklein. Actually,
Mitoe, I think he now. He just got another batch of 10 out, and that's probably going to save him for now. But there's a moment in time where he just didn't have enough. He had made way too many mace, a bunch of coyote, but no puma. Fortunately for Mitoe, though, Kaiser doesn't actually have any units outside of those SR.
Yeah, there are a lot of
Mitoe
villagers running around for Kaiserklein here, and here we go. Looks like engagement is starting, but with these trees, this natural, nature fighting area, I think it's very good for Mitoe, fighting in all these trees, and with all those mace, a lot of ranged units there. And we have a second mill coming down for Kaiserklein while Mitoe is still on hunt, so. That's always really big. If you can stay on hunt longer than your opponent, it's always very big in Age of Empires 3. And Kaiserklein is now on his second mill, so.
Yeah, you can see that Mitoe was at a 25 score deficit for a lot of this game, but now he's actually caught up because Kaiser's been moving onto these mills. Kaiser shipped that 1,000 wood, but it's almost certain that he didn't want to send it or spend it on these mills. Meanwhile, though, Mitoe has actually shipped 600 gold 3 times consecutively. He's pretty much out of Age 2 shipments now. I'd really like to see him go to Age 3 if he had an opportunity to. But it actually, because of the number of units he has, it may not be necessary. You can see Kaiser doesn't have... he's pretty much out of gold right now. He has actually moved these villagers that were on the gold mine to the mill because he's been hurting for food so much. But that makes him very mismacroed right now. He has about 1,000 wood.
Yeah, and here we go, very big engagement. And a few minutes ago, I did say that they're both dead even military population at 50 military population both, but now it's not the case at the start of this fight, and it's gonna be a tough one for Kaiserklein here.
Yeah, I think Kaiser just got starved out of resources for too long, and he wasn't able to make the push that he needed to come back. He had a promising moment there when he brought those working guns up to that forward base, but then Mitoe was able to make it out of that one and just keep Kaiser off of resources or take advantage of the fact that there just aren't that many resources on this map until Kaiser ran out.
Yeah.
And then that mill transition pretty much killed him there. Yeah, Kaiser calls it.
All right, so Mitoe takes game 3. He goes up 2-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kaiserklein saying that he could have shipped Colonial Militia and gone with that strategy, but looks like he's just doesn't do that often in his gameplay, I suppose. But either way, this was a very good game, very close one, and that's it for game 3.
Yeah, Kaiser did better than I expected for the matchup. I think he was remarking in the chat there that he could have probably gone Colonial Militia, and he would have been doing a lot better. For somebody who didn't send Colonial Militia, I think he did very well. He held on for quite a while. And even though a lot of that was him bleeding out slowly, to put up a good fight.
Yep. All right, so game 4. So we just said Mitoe was up 2-1. You do not want to go down 3-1 in a best of 7. So Mitoe is forced to choose first here for civilization. What do you think he's going to be going with? Yeah, what Kaiser just said right now, I just entered the lobby, and yeah, like I said, he only moved 1 villager to build that box for his organ guns, and yeah, now he's saying he could just pull like 4 villagers and it would have been a lot better. And yeah, that's what I was saying. Yeah, 1 villager was not much, to build those 4 layers of walls that forward.
Yeah, that's definitely true. The 1 villager looked like it was going to be sufficient just by making that 1 single wall for a moment, because Mitoe didn't really have an attack angle. But Kaiser was just a little bit slow on making the block with the dragoons, and as a result, Mitoe was able to slip a few coyotes in.
Yeah,
and that was enough to win the game quickly.
Does Kaiserklein have to choose first?
Yeah, Kaiser chooses first. It's still alternating pick even in
Oh,
this,
right,
in this,
alternating pick. I've been playing too much Age of Empires Online lately, where there's different. We do like the loser of the previous match has to pick first. But no.
Mitoe looks like he's trying to figure out what to pick. I think he's got good options here. This is again, Euro is probably the one with the
winner.
It's the closest to a Euro civ.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, French, German, and Dutch. Okay, Dutch really.
Alright, waiting on Mitoe right now to queue up for game 4 here. Alright, and here we go.
Yeah, I was a little bit surprised that Mitoe went for the Dutch pick here. Mitoe is known really for his German play, and that was a civ that you can pick against Euro. So I think he might be just afraid of the fact that Kaiser is also a German main, and for Germans, he understands it so well. And decided not to go with the Germans. Yeah, I wouldn't expect Dutch even then. I kind of expected Germans or French. So pretty good start for Mitoe, getting that 200 wood early on. Kaiser got 100 wood start, but unfortunately not. I don't think actually Euro on the patch get 200 wood. But Kaiser's actually going to be chopping wood for that trading post.
Alright, so Kaiserklein is playing as the Iroquois versus Mitoe's Dutch. Kaiserklein is using that trivial to build that farm. Doing some scouting first with it.
It looks like a pretty standard game for both players. Actually, okay, Kaiser, I thought he was going to go for the trading post, but he is actually just going for the longhouse, chop 25 wood for it. Not using this extra 100 wood, going to be making just a house. Probably going to be saving that for a bank later on. So I think we're going to see a fairly standard game open up. I think Kaiser, I'm expecting him to do some sort of semi-FF with the Iroquois. Mitoe probably going to do some sort of bank semi-FF as well.
Yep, and not a whole lot going on in Age 1. Kaiserklein is finding a 90 coin treasure right here.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of, you can see both players have taken a lot of very small treasures so far. Mitoe got, I think, 40 wood, 40 coin, 30 coin. Kaiser got a 60 wood and 50 coin, and now another 90 coin. So a lot of small-ish treasures, mostly wood and coin, which are pretty good. Kaiser actually, with this extra 90 coin, I think he's going to be in a pretty good state, and also still has 40 coin in base. Mitoe, meanwhile, actually getting that polar bear treasure. This is a difficult treasure, this 160 XP that is down here. This is a pretty difficult treasure to pick up just because there's no really good way to take down a polar bear.
Yep.
So he's going to be losing like half of his hit points from it.
Yep, but that is pretty nice. 160 XP treasure, so it's going to help him out, get everything moving a bit quicker.
I'm interested mostly in seeing how these players make use of the map itself. There were a couple of changes on this map. You can see, I think in the early versions, there was extra cliffs right here and on the same place in the opposing side of the map. And that made it a very good map to sort of wall off a lot of things and then turtle for a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Now without that cliff, it's not so much, but there's still this northwest passage here that makes for some very interesting raiding.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, there used to be the 2 cliffs where you could easily put a wall segment.
Yeah, I pretty often on this map would play British and then wall off that small choke right there, and then make a lot of longbows and then boom up for a while with manor houses. Now I'm not so sure that it's an effective strategy.
Had a charge of contention there for 80 XP, but Mitoe does win it, and he is now attacking the war chief of Kaiserklein. And I think Kaiserklein's gonna escape. It's actually maybe a little bit close. He is on his way aging up. He's still at 190 HP, and he's gonna be H2 fairly soon. So as long as you keep that guy alive, but otherwise you would not want to lose your war chief.
Yeah, I don't think Kaiser's in danger of losing it. The envoy is just so hard to actually control with the snare that yeah, Mitoe at some point he just said, okay, I give up. I'm not gonna bother trying to get this envoy to fight.
And we do have 1 bank up for Mitoe right now. He did age up with a 400 wood politician. So
like, probably another bank coming up pretty soon for him too.
And we do have a market for Kaiserklein. So he's, let's see, take a look at text completed. Kaiserklein does have hunting dogs right now.
Now, what age up was this? This was like 200 food, 100 wood, 100 gold age up or something like that?
Yeah, and trivial, yep. And we do have a second bank going down from Mitoe. And he did ship 700 wood right there, so we'll see how he responds with that, if he goes for more banks, or if he's going to go for a stable, or what. And okay,
I'm expecting at least 1 more bank from him, yeah. And then a stable, and then probably an age up from there.
Oh, we got a market coming down. And we do have a forward war hut for Kaiserklein. Or, I'm sorry, did I say market? A barracks. I don't know if I said a barracks.
Yeah. So Mitoe making a market, or sorry, barracks. Kaiser made a market though.
Yeah.
This forward war hut. I don't know though if he plans to be aggressive with it. It looks like he made a few Tomahawks out of it. It's not as forward as it could be, which tells me that he's not going to try to go all in on Mitoe right now. He's going to make a few Tomahawks, maybe try to age up afterwards. Meanwhile, Mitoe is actually making his 3rd and 4th bank and a market. The barracks choice here was actually probably pretty good then, because you can just make skirmishers.
Yeah, neither of the players made a trading post, which is a little bit interesting. And yeah, Kaiserklein saying they forgot to make one.
Yeah, I guess Dutch, they don't really need one so much, but then with Iroquois, yeah, it was pretty much just he forgot.
Yeah.
And
here we go, Kaiserklein is moving in with his army here, but there are 4 skirms popping a little bit forward, a little bit too forward, so one does go down for free there. And he's just going to try to hit and run with these skirmishers. Yep, the villager does go down. Ooh, and actually Kaiserklein having good attack here. 4 Kanye horsemen are coming in. Minutemen are called, but these skirms are going down pretty much for free. And, oh, well, okay, now Kaiserklein is kind of backing off actually. He's not going in with the horsemen. A little bit scared from the Minutemen, but there are now some bowmen coming in.
A little bit of an awkward fight for both players. Mitoe didn't really want to lose the skirmishers the way he did. He also lost 4 villagers off of that. But Kaiser also kind of just wasn't really committing with all of his units at the time. Kind of just sat around with his Kanya.
Yeah.
But still did a lot of damage, I think.
Yeah, losing 4 villagers is quite a bit. And we have 8 pike ships from Mitoe.
Yeah. No, I don't know about that. It kind of, it's never a shipment that you want to be sending. It's always a shipment that you feel like you have to send.
Right.
Because it's very expensive to send 8 pikemen, which are just kind of there to stop against cavalry. And there are only a few cavalry out, but even that many would be very dangerous against the number of skirmishers that Mitoe has.
Yeah. And we have a...
So he's sort of forced into that.
All right. And oh, actually, Kaiser's kind of engaging a little bit here. I was gonna say there's a single villager building a trading post for Kaiserklein, so no explorer building that, so that's taken quite a bit longer to get made.
Yeah, he lost his war chief at
Yeah.
the very beginning of the fight. He's gonna be down for a while. I think both players want to go to H3 at this point. You can see Kaiser's about to get up enough, and Mitoe, as well as shipping 700 gold for it. You can see he probably would have preferred to ship 700 gold before the fight went, but he was afraid that Kaiser was going to go all in on him, which Kaiser's not planning to do at this point.
Yeah, Kaiser is actually on his way to H3 right now.
Yeah, I think they're going to transition to a fairly standard game. It's going to be just a lot of Skirm Rider against Forest Prowler and Musket Rider. Fortunately for Mitoe, though, he does start off this with a little bit of an economic lead. He's got 8 villagers now because of all those banks. Even though Kaiser sent those 5 villagers, it doesn't.
Yeah, and so Mitoe is now on his way to H2, or I mean H3. So still no stable down for him.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. And he doesn't actually have enough wood to. He's chopping a bunch of wood right now, so this is actually going to be a little bit slow from him. Still making a bunch of skirmishers. Probably, I guess, his best bet here is now to ship riders until he can make enough, until he can gather enough wood to make a stable. Kaiser, meanwhile, is a little bit faster on his infrastructure. He has that extra corral there now. He is aged up a little bit faster, I think. I don't think he had a shipment though, or no, he must have. He's got a shipment right now. I think he's got another one on top of that we'll be seeing him send out just a moment from now.
Yep. And not a whole lot going on right now. Just both players just hitting H3 and getting their shipments. And Mitoe is definitely set up to be more defensive. How his buildings are all placed, very purposely, so that there's a lot of choke points, and it's hard to engage. And you can see your skirmishers behind these buildings. So, and he doesn't have a stable, so he's looking like Dutch. He's playing Dutch. He's got his banks. He's sitting back booming, waiting for Kaiserklein to make the move and to push out. And we have another bank going down even before a stable. And stable at the same time, though.
Okay, 2 stables actually. But yeah, these are very late, and there's still no riders out, right? Mitoe has been, I guess, playing a little bit dangerously right now. He would be in a little bit of danger if a bunch of Kanya were in, which is not the case, of course, but he doesn't really have much information on that. So 2 stables going up, and I think he's not going to go for like a big rider transition to support all the skirmishers he's got.
Yeah, and
Kaiser actually made a few more Tomahawks.
Yeah, Mitoe does have a pretty large skirmisher amount right here.
And I'm interested in the decision by Kaiser to make those extra Tomahawks. He had to have made extra ones.
He snuck his war chief. You got his war chief out safely. I don't know what he used to pick him up, but I think he might send one single unit or something, and he looks like he's sneaking away with this guy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send one.
I think Mitoe might have noticed, but wasn't able to catch up in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kaiser now he's starting to transition into those Kanya.
Man, this is
still.
Yeah, these skirmishers are now actually pretty exposed because I think they're like chasing down this Iroquois war chief, and yeah, there's not a whole lot of anti-cav there, but now some more rooters are coming in. 9 rooters are just shipped for Mitoe.
Yeah.
And,
he actually does catch it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He was pretty sneaky about that. He was able to dodge most of the skirmishers. Ooh, yeah, he got it, but got it barely in time. But still, we've seen the war chief again.
Take a look at the middle of the map. I think Kaiserklein made a mistake there. You see his war hut?
Yeah.
Yeah, he shipped all of his resources. He didn't have any villagers near, so he's running a bunch of villagers right now to gather these.
I mean, it's not so bad to do that right now because he still gets the resources. But I think that Mitoe's Explorer will actually be able to see that.
Oh yeah,
and that gets a bit of information.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's going to be able to gather these resources. They're coming a little bit slower because they were accidentally shipped at the forward war hut, but and yeah, actually, I mean, now Mitoe is pushing and he might not be able to finish gathering these resources, so this is, you know, very awkward.
Yeah, Mitoe actually has a very good timing right here. You can see he's got so many Reuters, so many skirmishers, and Kaiser is still kind of setting up his army. He's got all these forest prowlers, but it's not going to stand up against the skirmisher Reuter mass. And the Kanya just not enough of them right now.
Yeah, Mitoe's army is looking very overwhelming right here. 70 military unit population to 43 only, and still some resources sitting at this forward war hut. And oh, there's a Tomahawk pop.
Yeah, that's a pretty good timing. I'm not 100% sure about it.
And here we go, Kanye running in. But Mitoe's army just looks, you know, pretty much just much larger.
Yeah, Mitoe definitely didn't have a great angle on that fight, but he just had so many units that it didn't really matter. Tomahawks, you know, they're not great against this Reuter skirmisher composition. So sending that it was a Tomahawk big button, but even then it didn't quite do enough there.
Yeah, and yeah, military population still a pretty large gap here, 53 to 25, and economically even Mitoe's ahead too.
Yeah, although Kaiser he did manage to hold there, which I was not expecting to happen. So he's staying on for a little bit longer. As it stands, Mitoe has a much bigger army, but a lot of that is tied up in the Reuters, which don't trade efficiently with the skirmishers, the forest prowlers. The forest prowlers skirmishers count roughly even, and that makes it a lot harder for Mitoe to push in. You're having
Are you sorry? Are you hearing background noise? I tried to cover up the mic. Yeah. Sorry about that. That's funny.
So
I'm surprised you heard that.
Yeah.
Go ahead though.
They had a little bit of a window there where he might have been able to actually take down some of Mitoe's skirmishers. The skirmishers were a bit out of position. The Kanya mass is getting a little bit threatening. It's still not quite there. He sent those 6 Kanya to make it work. Even so, I think these skirmishers also. Now that Mitoe just sent that infantry combat card, these skirmishers are pretty much strictly better forest prowlers, even in attack. But then the skirmishers have more hit points. So as long as Mitoe continues, yeah, there is a bit of lag. As long as Mitoe continues to make skirmishers and make just enough raiders to be able to hold against the Kanya, he'll be in a pretty good place. But now, actually, the infantry combat coming out for Kaiser as well. And this pretty much evens it up again. Mitoe still has, yeah, a moment. Mitoe still has a lot of Reuters, but those aren't going to do enough against, or those aren't really effective against the forest prowlers. And yeah, we're going to fix the lag very briefly. Are you still there? Or? Yeah, we might have to. Soldier was saying he could switch in for me after this game. I think I might be causing a little bit of lag.
I was about to actually ask if I could leave after this one because
Soldier, if he could.
Well,
to switch in for you.
Well, because I'm gonna have a lot of background noise at this point, so it might not be.
Yeah.
I don't know if somebody would be able to take over. I don't know if Soldier can stream well. I mean, he could co-cast. I'm not sure if you'll have to ask him if he'll be able to stream fine, but it should be fine on lag. I mean, it's might.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be partially this map.
Yeah, we should play out the rest of this game. Deal with the lag.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens in terms of background noise and also in terms of
Yeah.
lag. In terms of also switching somebody out. I don't think they want us to do another switch of streamer.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the issue.
All right.
But we'll see.
Are you ready? Yes. Yes.
I think it was just a minor lag spike that was keeping that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, at this point, I think Mitoe, Kaiser was remarking that he didn't really have this game under control, and I think that's accurate. You can see he doesn't have, he still has all of these Tomahawks, which are kind of, they're really, they're kind of a useless unit in a lot of ways. They can only catch riders when they're right on top of them, and then they're of course useless against skirmishers. So it's really all about these forest prowlers and Kanya, but I think Mitoe's been doing better with the skirmisher count. He's been maintaining a consistent lead there, and the Kanya don't really have a good angle. And with the number of riders there are, it's never going to be the case that Kanya are going to be able to get in until the rider count is thinned out a little bit, or the Kanya count is brought up a lot. Still a little bit of lag.
Yep. But Mitoe's still with the overwhelming force here. And Kaiserklein calling him GG.
Yeah, I think Mitoe just had a lot of units there. It was, yeah, got to fix the lag for the next game.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, nothing changed from, well, for us from game 1 to this game. This is this map has C. I don't know if that caused a little bit more lag, but
we'll go to the lobby to see the pings.
yeah.
And then, the offending player will be removed.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're all green, but if you want him to take over streaming, that might work better. And then
Okay.
I don't know if you want to get another co-caster or a solo caster, because I don't know. I mean, I could try to stream another one, but
Okay. Let me talk to Jim real quick.
okay.
I don't think Jim is going to be enthusiastic about that idea.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's just keep going, I guess. There might be a lot of background noise.
Yeah, it's inevitable at this point.
Yeah.
Nothing we can do about it.
Oh yeah, and this is it 3-1 to Mitoe right now, or?
Mitoe, yeah.
Okay, yeah, let's just keep going. All right, I'll be back in like a minute or two.
Okay. So now it is Mitoe to pick the native civ. Up Aztec, I think. Kaiser used up. No. So we know that if Kaiser wins, then in game 6 he'll be using Aztec. This seems like a pretty good map for the Iroquois. If Mitoe were to go for this one. And I'm a little bit surprised that Mitoe didn't pull out Euro in 3.
No, you have like you time you had like 2 beers each.
ERA. Don't they have anybody that's good?
Yeah, okay. Mitoe pulling out the Iroquois. I would say virtually as expected. He is one of the best players who plays Iroquois now, and has actually practiced them a little bit on the EP. Now, the unfortunate thing, though, is that this opens up Kaiser to a lot of his European civs, especially the Germans, which is, of course, his favorite civilization to play. So, even saying, giving the smiley there, yep, and picking Germans as expected.
You idiot. Come on, moron.
Give me actually one more moment. I'm talking to Zillion Soldier to put them in for me.
All right. Well, do you want to? Yeah. I don't know, cause like the 3 other games didn't lag though, right?
Yeah, no,
But-
it's mostly because Soldier's willing and he's a very energetic person.
Okay. Yeah.
He will
Get
bring
him
a lot of
on.
energy. All right.
All right. Well, sit tight, everybody. Getting things sorted out before hopping into this next game. So Mito does have a 3-1 lead. I mean, Kaiserklein has to win this next game to stay alive. All right, so it looks like next map we're gonna be playing on is going to be Hudson Bay. Let's see, are these the official civs? Are these, did they lock these civs in? Not too sure. Oh,
Oh,
hey Matt. Soldiers
yeah.
in
Can you
the
hear me?
house. Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
All right, and we're here.
it's random. Super random.
Oh hey Matt,
Oh my god, what's that doing?
I'm probably gonna mute my mic so throughout during this game. So if I do, just like solo cast.
Is Dad watching the Cubs game?
I guess I don't know. All right, we are getting in underway with Game 5 here. Mitoe is up 3-1 right now.
Go, Mitoe! Let's go!
IAmSoldieR joining in as co-caster because there was a little bit of lag issue last game. So this
I
will
think
hopefully.
Duck's dying over there, falling out of the sky. Alright, so we've got Mitoe dominating the series so far. Fantastic, fantastic. Okay, so yeah, Mitoe with Hero. Man, I haven't played in so long, but I played a little bit earlier today. A Kaiser in a game on Hispaniola.
Oh.
Anyway, Hero versus German on Hudson Bay. This should be a pretty. I think amount of H2 fighting, and might go for some mercs. I think they'd be pretty decent this year.
All right, so loading time took a little while. Oh, can you mute me, Matt? Do you have
Let me get my headphones.
Huh?
Okay.
All right, so Mitoe is playing as the Iroquois. Can no.
Alright. Mitoe starting, or Kaiser starting market. Picking up a wood treasure. He's going to have to chop 10 wood. Hunting dogs, and then gather about 40 gold to buy wood for a house. He's queuing up hunting dogs now. He's 90. He has to gather 35 gold to buy 100 wood.
Yeah.
So he's probably just walking around trying to find 35 coin, but until the last moment to gather the 35 coin. Yeah, he's going right now. So it's actually not a bad start for German because they get hunting dogs. Don't have to waste too much time gathering side resources to get a house. So
yep.
it
is interesting. Usually you don't see Germans build a market before a trading post, but with the resource spawn at the start of this game, it made it kind of nuts.
It's actually pretty. He'll be able to 16 bill or 17 bill without any lag. I mean, without any delay, I think.
Oh wow! Oh, there's a bug. His Trivial is stuck in the gold mine. Yeah, you're just gonna have to restart this. That's like a game-changing bug.
What are you doing? How do you even?
Got the Trivial. The old Trivial got stuck in the gold mine. So we're gonna have to restart this one. A little
Classic
bug.
Mitoe throw. That is super random.
Yeah.
Wow. What game time was that at?
I'm not sure, but I mean, that just like completely changes the game. So.
Well, you know, you gotta roll with the punches.
And
Unknown. I'm trying to join the game. Says. I'm trying to join the game. Says unknown when I game not listed. Travios is just. Yeah, I don't know. The Travios just killed the ESO.
All right, a lot of people in chat are saying that it's a very difficult matchup for Iroquois, and that Mitoe's gonna be having a tough time here.
Trolling Mitoe a little bit.
Alright, so now we're underway with Game 5. Mitoe is up 3-1 in this series. It is the best of 7, so Kaiserklein has to win this game to stay alive. We are playing on Hudson Bay. Mitoe is playing as the Iroquois, and Kaiserklein is playing as the Germans. And can you tell us about this resource start and what you think will work well for the Germans and also for Iroquois once we load in?
Yeah. This is actually interesting. I don't know all the rules of this tournament and all that, but it's interesting. Like in Euro here, he may be thinking that after this, I'm assuming the next time, if say he loses this game and the next game, a native civ, so I guess he'll still have Aztec alive probably. Just thinking about that. Going into the civ pick.
Yep. Civ selection.
Hero's probably Hero's probably his second best native civ that in his mind. So anyway, okay, so a bunch of food crates for Hero, only food crates, 1 wood for German. So this is like a weird start for German. He's probably just gonna simply just build a house, not really be able to do anything.
Yep, only starting with 100 wood there, limits your options, and no gold, so Kaiserklein is playing his Germans, and he's not liking his resource start this game, he's saying.
Yeah, he had a really pretty good, I mean probably the most ideal crate start last game. Hunting dogs and Hero's not able to do anything.
Alright, so this time Mitoe is going to use his Treviel to build the farm to get that more XP.
He's been gathering 125 wood this whole time.
Yeah, so there you go. See, now places his house. And okay, Mitoe is attacking this garden for a cow. This treasure for a cow, which is interesting.
You can bring that back. That's 500. That's like, I mean, at like 5 minutes, that's like 500 food crate.
Oh yeah, that's true. Because the cows do fan up at the Iroquois farm, so.
That's actually really like, and he's probably gonna be able to get it back. And a sheep, like that's. See, the thing about this farm is it gives you 80 XP when they build it, so it's essentially 2 TP passes. So it's like the old Euro where they not start with a TP, but get to build one for free every game.
Yeah.
So he gets the first shipment just as fast as they do on RE patch.
Yeah.
And they build a house. And they build a house too, so they get the XP from that, which is 25. So it's like 105 XP is, yeah.
Yep. And now Mitoe is going for this 90 food treasure he's about to pick up.
And then, like we also said, they're gonna any sheep, which there are some sheep on this map, and the cow can be able to fatten. So. Like,
well, Kaiser, I think Kaiser only picked up the 80 XP treasures so far, so I think these Age 1 treasures are going pretty well for Mitoe.
Yeah. Basically, XP is nice. It's like for first pass with TP. first shipment comes. Your pace.
Yep.
But he's
And
still missing out. He still needs to go to the transition.
yep. So Mitoe is on his way to H2. Kaiserklein about to click up. Let's see. Are there any other big treasures on the map?
Dude, it's gonna be really interesting. Kaiser's really far from the TP right now, and he wants to get that sheep. But, he's gonna probably have to build a TP, want to build a market, and then, you know, after that, then he's got to decide but if he's going stable or racks.
Yeah. Germans are not very good without trading posts, and yeah, this was a 100 wood start only. So he's going for a market before
Since he's so
trading
far
post.
from he's so far from the TP, he's building the market first.
Yeah, that's
Probably
probably the safer choice.
No. Well, I mean, he's still gonna build the TP. He just did it. He just built the market first because his explorer's not ready to build one yet.
True. And Mitoe actually, you take a look at Mitoe's war chief building Kaiserklein's trading post, which is actually really nice because now Kaiserklein's trading post.
He already had it placed.
Yeah.
He had it placed down there, so when he finally got in line of sight, he got 200 wood back on his bank, which is interesting to see. So
yeah, I heard the destruction sound.
So the only eco up he's got right now is the wood cutting upgrade. Oh my god. And you can hear the fans reacting to Mitoe getting the TP up before Kaiser. Yeah, very crystal clear. Yep. And Dad. So, Mitoe getting aggressive with the war hut.
Alright, we got some fans in the background cheering.
The fans are loving it.
What were the fans cheering on? I don't know why my mic did get muted there, but
the aggressiveness from Mitoe. Okay, so Kaiser going with 3 settler wagons and a rack. So,
all right, and this is Kaiserklein. You know, his elimination game. If he doesn't win, he loses. So the fans in the background are getting pretty rowdy this game.
Rowdy. So there's been a lot of things that have gone good in Mitoe's favor so far, like delaying TP, treasures, cows, and he's gonna hopefully start eating these cows and sheep in the next like 2 minutes when armies start getting pretty big.
And big pop from Mitoe right here, and these crossbows are opposition a little bit.
If he can catch a couple of them, he doesn't want to sacrifice his cannon, but he should be able to catch a couple crossbows. Kaiser does not have any resources for Minutemen.
And now Mitoe going for some of the villagers here, so one villager does go down for Kaiserklein.
So you can see there's the pop of the second shipment a little bit later because of the delayed on the TP. So, man, this is going to be interesting. I think at this point, Kaiser has to stage 2 because he's going to be so behind shipment progression. If he sends 700 coin next, have any military.
Yeah, he does get this.
His next shipment's going to be the crossbow shipment.
He did get that TP pass, but yeah, now his trading post is down. And he did just build a stable, so yeah, it looks like he's gearing up for H2 play here.
Yeah, he has to. Mitoe's popped right now.
And okay.
Actually, he sent 5 bills as his first H2 shipment, which I didn't notice, but continue his military production.
Yeah, both of them did ship villagers as their first H2 shipment, so and Kaiserklein's Explorer was trying to sneak this 160 XP treasure, but he's actually going to get killed. And he's gonna allow Mitoe to pick that up. Ooh. Oh, does the bear? Oh, the bear started attacking Mitoe. I was surprised. I thought the bear would get reset and then full HP and then converted, but nope.
See, right now, I think Mitoe understands like what are the possibilities of where this game's gonna go from now. I hope he recognizes that using these sheep and the cow to just like give him an extra boost, because the biggest fight's gonna come up in about. Like he needs to use those resources now, otherwise they're just wasted.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna have a big engagement here. There's 700 coins shipped for Kaiserklein on the floor that he is picking up now. Kaiserklein is about to lose his house.
He sent 700 coin. I guess he wants a lot of Owen, but I don't necessarily agree with that.
And Mitoe pushing in, going pretty much right on top of this town center. And this is gonna,
Ooh,
there's gonna be a chance for 5 dops and 5 Owen strength at the same time.
Man, if they were like 10 seconds later, that could have been a very good position.
Yeah.
But,
needed to get those dops in the right position. Probably try to flank with them or something. Dops are a lot better when they can, sneak and force and trap.
No.
Or just snare.
God, don't go in. Do not go in here. No reason for Mitoe to fight right now.
Yep. Oh, there's a Minutemen pop. Maybe, and even pulling villagers. Kaiserklein just wants to force this fight. And, a very big engagement right here. Hard to say which way it's going to go.
A lot of Tomahawks still alive, actually. And they had a pretty good zoning of, like, the Owen.
And there's still a lot of Germany units here on the field, and
but there's a lot of
and 8 more expos shipped for Kaiserklein. 4 more Kanye horsemen coming in, but
yeah. But Kaiser needed, but I'm not sure it's enough though. Like, he had a lot of villagers idle for that, and he's got no units in production right now. He needed that really bad. He can really do a ton right now. Mitoe's gonna give up his base if it gets pressed, but
yep, Mitoe is placing down another warlord here to protect this hunt.
Okay, Mitoe has eaten the sheep and
and the cows, they're fully fattened. Yep, just about fully fattened. So it's a nice source of food right there.
Yeah, I'm surprised Mitoe has such a small military right now. Like, since that fight, he's only made like 3 Tomahawks, it feels like.
Yeah, I think Mitoe did lose quite a bit there in that engagement.
I wish he would have pulled back the Kanye.
Was that 5 more dops that just got trained?
Yeah, that's like it. I mean, I guess Kaiser's he's not in a terrible spot. He can still fight H2. Like, another DOP shipment could come, and still has, like, still some power in H2, like, before he starts wasting shipments.
Yeah, 3 DOP shipment can be a really strong shipment, and that could be, like, go time shipment. But I think he's still a ways off. Oh, nope, there it is. 3 DOPs just shipped.
Yeah, man. So you get to a certain point where you have enough DOPs where it's like you can't just hit and run them, like they're just gonna float, like keep going.
All right.
But Mitoe doesn't have the amount of infantry that he needs to.
Oh, the Minutemen. You should pull your Minutemen back. I think the War Hut targeted down 1 Minuteman. But now, okay, Mitoe's not targeting the other Minutemen. He could be.
DOPs right there. That's going down real quick.
Yep.
Mitoe is just, I think he's way overproducing on Kanye right now.
Ooh, yeah. There's a lot of Kanye, and there's, what, about 10 DOPs here? Or maybe 8 DOPs there?
He needs to, those DOPs are going to be really hard to kill. There's 10, I think. Units alive.
And here we go, really big engagement.
Oh, boy. Oh. Those DOPs are on the wrong side. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, positioning is very important here, especially when you're fighting with DOPs. So, Kaiserklein going all in now. Ooh, and there are some Kanye horsemen coming to flank from behind.
God.
But the DOPs are still there.
Behind us.
Ooh,
So
5 Tomahawk
okay,
pop.
nice pop. I
And,
think Mito's got this now.
Yeah, looks really good.
He's gonna crush this fight.
Yeah, all of a sudden those DOPs melted pretty quickly, and mainly just crossbow left for Kaiserklein.
Reinforcing DOPs at all. That's what. Yeah.
And there's the GG. Mitoe takes this last game and finishes the series, best of 7. Mitoe wins 4-1. GG, well played to both, and congratulations to Mitoe, who takes 3rd place in this tournament.
Yeah. Interesting matchup. One of the military upgrade cards.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying that it's like impossible matchup for Iroquois at the start. I was reading that in the chat.
Well, this map is not the best for German, I think.
Yeah, he did get a food start. Yeah.
Crates, but not just the crates. Like the hunt really starts to run out. Kaiser didn't run out completely, but he was getting really close to it.
Yep. All right. Well, that's it for this series and this tournament. Pretty much that's it for the stream. I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything. Go ahead and ask in the chat. But I think otherwise we're about to close the stream in a couple minutes here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have anything to add or you ready to call it.
No. Yeah, that's
pretty much it. So that's a wrap up for the WarChiefs Classic tournament. Yeah. So you were watching the A's and Dorogo series?
Just a little bit of it. I watched. I think I watched game 1.
Yep.
Aztec. Yeah.
So Aztec takes 1st place in this tournament. Dorogo takes 2nd place, and Mitoe takes 3rd place with Kaiserklein in 4th.
I think that might be Ace's first tournament win, which is probably a little bit overdue. But I mean, I didn't think he was. I don't know how much. I haven't been playing much at all, so I don't know who's been playing a lot. But within the last year, he was at a point where he was one of the best for sure. He probably got back to that point. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. Yeah, Dorogo was saying that he wasn't really practicing much, but
I'm gonna
gotta practice for a finals match. You're saying you're about to head out?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, that's a wrap for the stream. Thanks for watching, everybody. And that's it. See you guys next time.
See ya.